Hello everybody, this is Michael. Usually, I play Koss in our regular D&D campaign. However, over the course of the next 5 weeks, I'll be running a teen superhero miniseries in the Masks and New Generation system. This is a game that's full of heroic battles, dastardly schemes, and teenage drama. So without further ado, Roleplay Radio welcomes you to the first installment of The Varsity Nights. So yeah guys, welcome to Masks. We're going to dive into this in just a bit, but just as a quick reminder about some expectations to set about this system and this game. This is a game that thrives on superhero action and teenage drama in equal proportion.
Excellent.
You do not have to be a team player as much in this game. In fact, the game will, in some cases, try to get you not to be.
Oh boy!
So,
excellent.
Feel free to lean into that if you feel that that is appropriate. If we have teen drama, we're doing something right.
So this is like Degrassi with dice.
Just for the recording, can we get character introductions?
So, I will be playing Kitty Carmichael. Kitty is I'm Kitty, junior class president and also captain of the dance team. Some might say that I'm popular, but you know, what does that really mean? I have a little brother, Junior, and my dad, Carson Carmichael, is a city councilman. You know, overall, my life is pretty average, except for the part where I'm also a superhero. But nobody knows about that, except 2 people. My little brother Junior knows, and one person on my team, Diego, also knows. He knew me from before we all made a super gang.
Biology.
From biology? Like we had biology together?
We were lab partners. Did you forget already?
No, of course I didn't forget. You know, we've been in the same school system for even longer than that.
Well, so that raises a good point. Kitty and Diego both have been going to Tucker Island Public School for quite some time. This is a combined middle/high school, so there's lots of students from all across different grades, but they all live on Tucker Island, which, if anybody has been to Staten Island, is a bit similar to that in that it is technically part of Halcyon City, the greater superhero area. However, most people from Halcyon City never go there because you have to take the ferry. But speaking of Diego,
I will be playing a character named Diego, and I wrote a little blurb about him, which I think will just summarize him. My name is Diego de la Torre, and I'm a foster kid. Or I was a foster kid before the accident. Look, I just wanted to clear my head, go for a swim, keep the demons quiet. How was I supposed to know the good scientists of Tucker Island were using the harbor as their personal garbage dump? You wouldn't recognize me from any photos, not anymore. I've become everything I touch now. So I'm always gonna look a little different. It's scary, I know. I'm still getting used to it. Luckily, I've had some help. Made some friends along the way. Friends who know a thing or two about being different. A speedster, a telekinetic telepath, and an axe-wielding badass who's basically invincible. Hanging around with them, kicking ass, saving the day. That's how I got my new name. El Camaleón. The Chameleon. I honestly don't hate it. It's a hell of a lot better than some of the other names the people of the city have called me. Even after I saved their lives. How strange, huh? Then again, we're all a little strange.
So Diego comes from a group home on Tucker Island called Harborside Group Home, which up until recently was a functional place where a bunch of displaced youths would go to live, including our next character.
Hi, I'm Tyson Wilder. I'm one of the other
What did you call them?
Displaced youths.
I am 12. I have friends at the Tucker High School. I live with. He's like my worker, but he's also my friend. His name is Bob. His name Bob Greco. And I said I go to Tucker Middle High School, and if you are a bad villain, I'm gonna come for you as the Spectre. You'll never see me coming. I am small, I am quick, and very dangerous.
The thing about Tyson is that he's a relatively new superhero, but his powers have gathered attention from a bunch of other known superpowered players in the city.
Yeah, but Bob Greco said I shouldn't really talk about those things.
There are other people in the city who are interested in Tyson's powers. One of them is a particular line of superheroes that has been active for quite some time, including our final character.
Yeah, I'm Nell Eklund. New to the school. I was homeschooled before this year. I guess a little weird to be going to public school for just, the last 2 years, but I am so excited to be around all these people that I'm not related to. It's amazing. I've already made some friends, like Kitty. Have you met Kitty? Kitty's real nice. Really like her. It's kind of dangerous though. I mean, there was the hot soup incident, there was the stairwell incident, and then there was that incident with the table saw and shot glass. If I wasn't invincible, I would have gotten seriously hurt. I should probably mention, I'm literally invincible. I'm the current incarnation of Hathi the Moonwolf. You might know of my Uncle Balder, who was before. He's retired now, so it's me. Anyway, I should probably get back to class.
As we hear that final word echoing out, we hear a school bell ringing, cutting out across a shot of Tucker Island as it zooms out from Tucker Island Public School. The camera continues moving towards the entirety of Halcyon City, a giant, sparkling metropolis full of superheroes of all different ages and kinds, and other meta-human-powered individuals. And as the camera continues moving, it moves into Halcyon City properly to focus on a large stone building with marble columns out front and the words Halcyon City, Museum of Natural History on the front. As the camera zooms in on this sign, the shot fades into a shot of a group of students walking through the halls of the museum as a tour guide is taking them through different exhibits. We see a giant T-Rex skeleton displayed prominently in the center of this exhibit hall, other dinosaurs of various different kinds as the tour guide is going through explaining all of the different facts about dinosaurs and how, did you know that the Diplodocus had a neck that was taller than this building? Wow! One of those students who all of you would know in one way or another as Chet Greco. He looks uninterested, immediately kind of pushes towards the front of the group and he's like, yeah, when do we get to the superhero part? The tour guide blinks at him a couple times and says, I'm sorry? Look, I know that the museum has an entire exhibit about Cape history. Where is that? You must be mistaken. You're thinking about the Superhero Museum. This is the Natural History Museum. Odds are you probably won't be seeing any superhero stuff here. See, I told you this entire thing was going to be bogus. As the group exits, we see a tiny mechanical drone that looks like a small bear trap just clacking away underneath one of the exhibits. A little glowing red eye observing the group. And as the group continues going forwards, another drone pops up from another location, and then another one, and then another one, until the room is full of these clacky, trap-jawed drones. As they begin flying through the air, the students begin clinging to each other, partially out of fear. Chet looks up and is like, "Oh man, this is awesome!" As we see the drones come together and form a large projector that projects the image of a man in a medical coat with a set of large, round glasses and a medical mask over his face as he lets out a maniacal laugh. Fools! You at the Natural History Museum don't even know that you are now hostages of the feared and all-powerful Megabyte! The Dentist of Destruction! Yes! And as the drones part, they reveal the man himself as he floats down, supported by a platform made of these jaw drones. He points to the rest of the group. He says, "Now everybody be cool and nobody needs to get hurt." Chet immediately steps up and says, "I'm not afraid of you, dude. I mean, you're not even like a real A-tier villain. Take this!" He runs up to Megabyte,
Oh, no.
immediately attempts to punch him in the face, and Megabyte takes out a tube of toothpaste, smashes his hand down on it, sending out a toothpaste beam directly at this defenseless kid. Question: which of the team is the person who comes in to save him?
Nell has very high savior and probably has the most training of the group. Nell's costume, I guess, is like magically endowed. Whenever they summon their moon axe, it's a giant magical axe with this crescent-shaped blade on it. They physically don't change, but their attire changes. They're wearing like very traditional like Norse attire, leathers and furs, and red war paint on their face. Their blonde hair. They wear braids in it most of the time anyways, but they look so much nicer.
So, as we see Nell flying in from the side of the camera, the focus gets a little bit blurry and the colors fade a little bit as we go into the not-so-distant past. Nell is currently in the middle of a training session with the other member of their legacy, Skull. Skull is a older guy. He's about in his late 20s or so, and he's got this like long, luxurious, flowing brown hair. He is built, and he is carrying a shield with a symbol of a sun on it. As the two of them are sparring, Skull lets out a chuckle and says, "So you know, that would have been good enough for anybody who wasn't me. But, you're fighting somebody who's bigger and stronger than you, so you're gonna have to learn to cut your back into it."
Right. Back and also arms, since they're the ones holding the axe.
And also, you've got to learn how to take your chances, because you've just been hitting the shield when I'm completely ready for it. I'm braced. Even if I weren't as strong as you, you wouldn't have a chance to knock me down.
It's a really good target though. Like, it's big and round and shiny. You can pretty much see it always.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you the same thing that your uncle told me back when I was getting started. Right now is the best chance for you to get a lot of the practice that you'll need for the rest of your career. Because right now, you haven't got your super strength in yet, right?
Right.
So this is the time, before that strength comes in, before you finish, growing, which, yeah, I thought you were like 6 inches shorter the last time I saw you. Now is the time to practice against people who are stronger than you, because after a little bit, that's going to be nobody. Until it's crunch time.
What do you mean crunch time?
Well, you don't want to be practicing when you need to protect somebody.
I guess that's true.
Skull sees Nell hesitating there, and he lowers the shield, comes over, and puts a hand on Nell's shoulder. Is there something that's bothering you?
I mean, I guess just it feels like there's a lot that I have to do. I mean, I already have all my other classwork, and well, Mom's pretty adamant about me doing all of that and getting highest scores I can on those. Of course, I have to take care of the younger cousins. Then I just keep getting all these lectures about protecting all these other people. I have an axe. How do you protect people with an axe?
That's a good point. I also don't envy you because I think you're the youngest one to take up the mantle. I was done with school by the time that I ended up becoming Skull.
They keep telling me that I need to form my own pack and everything. But then I'm not actually allowed to leave to meet people.
Well, that's what the school's for, right? Here, tell you what. I can show you something that your uncle used to do all the time when he was facing down, like, beam villains or, people who would, like, throw a bunch of arrows at him all at once. A way that you can use that axe to protect yourself.
Okay.
As he says this, he raises his shield back up, and you see it beginning to glow with the energy of the sun as he's preparing to shoot a beam at you. Just raise it up, and follow your guns. And as we cut back, what did Nell learn?
So my first thought is using the axe to split the beam.
Ooh, yes.
That would definitely protect Nell and anyone like in a cone behind them.
Awesome, I love that. So we see Nell running in from just off the screen, raising up the axe to meet the toothpaste beam, and as you hold it up, the beam splits off into 2 columns of minty fresh goodness. Going to either side of you and Chet. You have successfully managed to keep him safe for now. The doctor, or the man in the doctor's costume, looks at you and says, "Ha! They couldn't have sent anybody more seasoned than you. I'm almost disappointed. Jaw drones! Get them!" And the jaw drones swarm over Nell as Nell begins to engage with them. Meanwhile, we see Megabyte going up to the T-Rex statue as he takes a long and loving look at the teeth of the T-Rex, and he says, "Ah, come to me, my precious." Who gets his attention?
Tyson goes up and says, "Hey, bonehead! I got a bone to pick with you!"
We go backwards in time once again into that soft focus as we see ourselves in Bob Greco's apartment. Tyson has gotten back from school a little while ago and is entertaining himself when Bob walks in wearing a somewhat beat up looking suit. He closes the door and just lets out a long sigh and looks over at Tyson and says, "Sport, new jobs are always stressful, you know that?"
Tell me about it. I've had exactly this many jobs. And he holds up 2 goose eggs.
Yeah, well, you're starting at the new school, so I imagine it's kind of similar. How was your day?
I met a lot of good people, and none of that stuff that I'm not supposed to talk about was talked about, and I didn't do any of those things. And I met a friend. His name was Bobby too. And it was cool. It was good.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
He's kind of being a little, like, hard to sit still, overstimulated.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad to hear it. You said that none of that stuff that you're not supposed to talk about happened. You've been keeping it under control. Just the walking.
Just like the way we talk about it. Yep.
Okay, that's good to know, Tyson.
Yeah.
You've been doing really good with that recently. I know ever since that incident at Harborside, you've been able to keep it under control a lot better.
Gets noticeably quieter, maybe a little stiller.
So I know that you've also been hanging around with that other group, the what do you call yourselves? The Varsity Knights, was that right?
Yeah. I had other names, but they didn't like them. But Varsity Knights was good.
Okay, just maybe Tyson. I think it's a good thing that you're getting regular exercise with those powers in a safer environment. I just want to make sure that you know that you have to keep those under control.
Well, about, like we were talking about the other day, breathing exercises, that was helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on counting to 5 and then going quiet. And that's helpful.
Very good, Tyson.
Yeah.
And as we cut back, we see Megabyte looking down at Tyson. There's like a look on his face that comes through even through the mask and the large glasses of just like absolute surprise and almost a little bit of disgust. It's like, "Oh, God, you're starting young nowadays. How old are you?"
Old enough to beat you up this many! And he flashes a 10 and then a 2, and he wants to shoot some powers with that.
As you shoot out your telekinesis, you feel the force moving forwards, then it stops, like kind of in midair as if it's hit an obstacle. Rookie mistake, thinking that I wouldn't have my patented dental dams protecting me. A kid like you could never catch me by surprise. who catches him by surprise from the other side.
Wait.
Kitty needs to sneak off and change into her costume before she can
assume
really
I
do
assume we're allowed to have been
anything.
doing that this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm doing the same.
What costume does he have? Doesn't he just like...
I'm imagining it's just a really long trench coat. He's naked underneath because he has to be. I think what happens is he like flips around with the trench coat, and then by the time the trench coat falls, he's gone because he's touched the ground and turned into the ground. Probably made of cement, unless...
That makes sense. Marble.
Yeah. Marble,
Yeah.
sure. I surprise him by just popping out of the ground. I never know what to say in these goddamn situations.
And what do you do?
I'm just gonna swing at the drones. I want to topple them over.
And you swing at the drone platform, manage to break one of them. As you break that drone, you see the platform destabilize, bump into the T-Rex, and the T-Rex itself starts crumbling over. We're gonna go back into the past real quick. We are underneath Tucker Island Public School in the tunnel system underneath. We see an older woman. This is Miss Fraser, the science teacher at the school, speaking with a... What does Diego look like in this moment?
He's probably been at his lowest point, so he's been just kind of hanging around the sewers and the tunnels and the woods. Like, I think he just looks like dirt, like dirt and grass.
And we hear faint conversation fading in as we get closer to the two of them, of Miss Fraser saying, "And could you give this one a try?" And she presents you with a leather jacket.
Why? So I can look like I'm wearing a bodysuit of some kind?
Diego, you know that we are doing this so that we can figure out what it is that has been done to you and whether or not we can do something to fix it.
I told you. What? Fine. And he just pokes it, and his body turns into leather.
Very interesting. Diego, would you mind if I give you some theories?
Some what?
Excuse me, theories.
Sure.
So, it would appear that you do not have a block against absorbing organic material, based on your ability to absorb the leather, your ability to absorb the wood, and the fish scales you carry around. It does not appear that you have a block against inorganic material either. It is not based on carbon content, because of your ability to copy things such as coal.
Miss Fraser, teach. I appreciate all this, but
All right.
in layman's terms,
In layman's
what
terms...
the hell's wrong with me?
In layman's terms, it seems that you can absorb everything except for human skin.
So, I'm screwed?
Well, I don't know. I feel like there must be some sort of underlying cause. Have you considered that there might be a psychosomatic block? Sorry,
What?
I'm talking about science.
I'm not a psycho, Miss Fraser, alright? I just wanted to go for a swim.
I understand, Diego. How is your science homework coming along, by the way?
Ay, chingado. No, it's fine. Kitty's coming over to the cabin in the woods, tutoring me.
Diego, I know that you say it's going fine, but you know we have to keep you up to date on your academics because once you're going to become
What? I'm gonna become a doctor, a banker.
you're going to eventually
Who's
get
gonna hire me?
Well, you're going to become 18 eventually or another, and you'll want to get into a good college so that you can have a good life. Okay?
Teach, if I go into college, they're just gonna want to poke and probe me. I'm good. I think I'll just lay low, maybe look up my deal or something, get a construction job, I don't know.
Well, let's not be too hasty about it. When we figure out what your condition is, then we can treat it. Regardless of when that is, you're going to want to go to college. That's what I did. It worked out for me.
Alright, fine. You know what? Fine. Sure. I'll apply.
Good. Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame you when they laugh at me because I just walk around looking like paper and ink.
I don't see why you would blame me for that. I feel like that would be more of a blame the person laughing scenario. But, then again, I'm just a science teacher, not a social studies one. As we cut back, we see the T-Rex head falling down onto the ground along with Megabyte as he, catches himself on one of the jaw drones, is hanging off of it precariously as he goes, "Well," and then has the drone carry him away from all of you. You see that he does still have at least one or two T-Rex teeth held into his other hand. Well, looks like you brought the whole friend group. No matter, 3 of you will never be enough to stop a top-tier villain such as myself. And the final question, who takes these teeth from him?
That would be Ricochet.
Ricochet. Can you describe how this happens?
So, Ricochet's power is that she can absorb kinetic energy, stop things where they're moving, and then be able to turn it into her own kinetic energy and move very, very quickly. This is essentially a case of her standing on the ground with her hands up, and the drone just stops in midair, exactly where it is. It cannot make any forward progression.
And as he's holding onto the drone, which is a little bit too high for his comfort, it's like, wait, who is that? And we go once again back in time to... This is slightly after the end of the school day, after most of the extracurriculars are letting out. We see Kitty Carmichael coming out of the student government. Can you tell me what is the big event that the student government is planning currently?
What time of year is it?
It's the start of the school year, essentially.
Homecoming.
Homecoming things. As everybody is leaving, you are intercepted in the hallway by your friend from dance class. Dance team. Kitty's like an extrovert, right? Mm-hmm. So this is essentially one of those introverts that you've adopted.
Aww.
Can you tell me what her name is?
Amy.
So Amy comes over to you as you're exiting the student government, and she just approaches you and says, Kitty, I have a crisis.
Okay, well, I'm absolutely here for you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so you know how I've invited everybody on the dance team to come to my place for a party this weekend?
We're super excited.
Yeah, so I might have invited some other people as well. And,
okay.
I mean, Chet's also gonna be there, and I wasn't too worried about it up until recently, but then when I went to Chet's party this last weekend, he had beer at his party, and I wasn't planning on having drinks at my party. I'm just so worried because I feel like if I don't have drinks at my party, then Chet's not gonna think I'm cool, and everybody else is not gonna like me.
Okay, Amy, slow down. You don't need to have alcohol at your party to be cool, okay?
Okay, but Chet had beer, so I don't know.
So
maybe...
what? If Chet doesn't think you're cool because you don't have alcohol, then Chet isn't very smart.
Yeah, I guess he's kind of a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just Kitty, you have to promise me that you're gonna be there, okay?
What time's the party?
So it starts at 6 o'clock. I don't think anybody's gonna actually show up until 8 though.
Okay, do you want somebody there early to help you set up?
So much. That would be so good.
I'll get some of the rest of the dance team. We'll come right at 6 on the dot, kind of start the party up early so that everybody's warmed up by the time everyone else shows up.
Another voice calls out from a car that the two of you have been walking towards in the parking lot. And the voice of your brother, Carson Carmichael Jr. As he calls out, Kitty, over here!
Oh, hey, Junior! Alright, Amy, I'll see you later for the party.
Okay, you promise, right?
Of course.
Okay, thank you so much. And as you walk over towards the car, you see your dad behind the wheel, Carson Carmichael Sr., the city councilor. As you get into the car with the both of them, your dad is currently reading a newspaper and he says, Look at this, Kitty. Kit Kat, come on. Afterburner and Toxic Shock ended up having another one of their spats right next to the Tucker Island Bridge project and ended up causing God knows how much in fire damage and toxic spills.
Oh no, that's gonna make a lot of work for you, Daddy.
You know, it's superheroes like this that are the real problem. You can't hold a superhero accountable unless they're public. And if you're keeping your identities secret, you clearly have something to hide, right?
Well, I mean, maybe the things that they have to hide are just family and loved ones who they want to protect from villains.
Well, if you want to keep your family and loved ones safe, you better go into public service in the traditional way, because if you're hiding away and using family and loved ones as your excuse, you just don't want to tell your family and loved ones or something. Here. Just take this. He hands the newspaper back to you as he's driving off. You know, Kitty, there's a real problem with supers in this city. I'm glad it's not come over to Tucker Island yet, except it seems like it's starting up. There's this whole new team that started recently. As this is happening, in the backseat, you see your little brother holding up your Ricochet helmet as he's hidden it away in a little backpack.
Yeah, so Kitty's just like, wait, but mouthing that.
And you know, I think it's a good thing that you're in this public school, but I hear that one of the members of that team has joined this school recently, and I understand it's a good thing to be out among normal people. Sorry, that's not the right phrase to use, but you know...
I understand, Daddy. But no, I met them. They're actually really nice. We're becoming really good friends. I think that this whole superhero team, you know, maybe it could be a good thing for Tucker Island.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, they haven't done anything good for us thus far. They've, destroyed the group home, they've had a couple other fiascos with minor criminals that other better-equipped law enforcement agents could have taken care of. I mean, Aegis alone could have taken care of any of those.
Well, I mean, I don't think that they necessarily destroyed the group home. I think it was more of like the villain destroyed the group home and they saved some people.
As this is happening, you see your little brother taking out a little bit of rubble from the group home that he convinced you to sign from his backpack and holding it up to you.
That's good.
Junior, stop it!
And as we cut back, we finally see the four of you come together in a dramatic pose together. Can you describe what your poses look like?
So Nell is just standing there with this axe resting across one of their shoulders, the giant crescent like right behind their head.
Ricochet is making levels for this dynamic pose, so is lunging, leaning into the lunged leg, got the other leg out, and then the arms go in like the same direction as the lunged leg. Almost like the shape of a ricocheting bullet.
Nice. Okay.
And then Diego, did I successfully knock over some drones?
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab one and then use it, turn myself into metal, slowly standing up from a squat and just crush the drone in a very dramatic,
Wonderful.
pose.
I like the idea of finger guns. I would imagine that he would maybe put himself closer to Diego. He's wearing like black jeans, black shirt, knee guards, elbow guards, because safety first. He's got his skull cap with the eyeballs cut out. He's trying to look really cool, but he's just like, okay, you're a 12-year-old kid.
Yes.
And you have a list.
Now we are properly into the game with mechanics, and the first mechanic we're going to use is when you enter a battle against a dangerous foe as a team, add 2 team to the pool.
Team
And this
juice.
is a resource that you can use to help each other out or to act selfishly. We're going to start by answering a couple of questions here. Who is your group leader? I think, everybody probably thinks that Nell is the leader. Now, what is your purpose in this fight?
I think Nell's going to be very focused on protecting these students.
Is that the same as everybody else's purpose in this fight? Or does anybody have a different one?
Dinosaur bone. He's had like time in the, like little kid in a group home where people are knocking over his blocks and stuff, and he can appreciate, even though it's not blocks, somebody made that. We're not gonna knock that down. That's shitty.
Cool.
He's gonna protect
Yeah,
the
no,
fucking dinosaur bones.
my purpose was to take this guy down. Kind of protecting the students, but
Not quite. So the team does not have the same purpose, and we don't get to add an extra team for that. Does any team member mistrust the leader or the team as a whole?
No.
Cool. So we don't subtract a team. And finally, is your team ill-prepared or off-balance? I don't believe that is the case, because you kind of got the drop on this guy.
Yeah.
Alright.
So we're gonna start off with 2 team as Megabytes regroups his drones, and you see his invisible dental dams become visible again, or semi-translucent again as he summons them up. You see them basically blocking him off from the rest of you. He looks at all of you, Nell leading the group in the front, and says, "Now, it's okay to be frightened if this is your first time out on the field. Even your old pal Balder had trouble facing me down."
Just gonna attack this guy as he's monologuing.
Before you do that, this sounds like you are unleashing your powers.
Yeah, that's
Roll plus freak.
that's a 9.
As he continues trying to put you down, you immediately start approaching him and you start hearing him say, "Wait, rude! You're supposed to wait until..." And then as you do this, you take this big leaving swing with your magical axe, which splits the dental dam. You see the drones immediately start rushing to repair it, as you haven't been managed to completely cut it in 2. But there is an opening. What is the rest of the team doing?
Ricochet is running the perimeter of the room in order to analyze and figure out how to end this as quickly as possible, to assess the situation and
Okay.
answer how could we best end this quickly.
Cool. Sounds like you know what movie you want to trigger.
5 plus 3.
Okay, and an 8. So you can ask one of those questions, which is how can we best end this quickly? You think that the best way to deal with this, because there are so many drones in this specific area, is to evacuate the students.
Okay.
Because it was going to be a lot easier to take all the students out than to try to engage every single one of this guy's drones. Is there anything you want to do with that?
Yes, I want to start picking up students and taking them out the door.
Okay.
That seems quicker than making them do it themselves.
Oh yeah, sure. So while this is happening, let's take a look at Diego and Tyson.
May I? Please. Diego is going to touch a random girl's scrunchie.
Okay.
Careful.
Just a scrunchie.
Okay.
And turn his entire body into a long scrunchie. He's gonna be like, hey kid! Wraps his foot around one door on one end and stretches all the way to the other end and goes, slingshot.
Okay.
So I'm trying
Tyson, what are you doing
Look
here?
of glee on Tyler's face.
I love you. Tyson, huge kid smile on his face, and he just runs full throttle into the scrunchie until he can run no more and is propelled backwards.
Okay.
He's not doing a cannonball, he's doing his favorite dive, and that's the can opener. That's
Okay.
where you go with one knee in and one leg out. But this looks like a gigantic tank shooting at the dentist.
Okay.
And it's going to shoot a lot of candy at the dentist. 6.
6. Okay. So that could be bad. Here's my question then. Do you want to consider your elastic maneuver as spending a team from the pool to help him charge up? So that he can get a 7 through 9 instead?
Kind of. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think
Is that okay, guys?
Yeah.
So with the inspiration of this elastic, you are able to charge up without losing control of yourself too much.
Okay.
You only have to mark one condition.
Afraid. Because it's a big, loud boom, and he's a traumatized kid. And so he's using his power, but it scares the shit out of him.
Okay. One more thing, because you rolled a miss, this applies to any roll that you do. Mark potential. If you mark potential 5 times, you basically level up.
Yay, failure.
Yeah.
So as it explodes, he thinks it's really, really cool, and then he hears the big boom, and it's like reminiscent of, you know, the big boom that killed his parents, which was his big boom. And so he's very scared, but also like doing something really awesome, so he's kind of just like white knuckling.
So you launch yourself directly at Megabyte through the hole in his dental dam.
It's a big jawbreaker.
You get to pick one of the options from directly engage a threat.
But he's gonna take the teeth.
So you go straight towards him. He pilots his drone such that he barely ducks out of the way from you, but you see yourself in slow motion as you grab the teeth from out of his hands. But then as you're continuing on, he takes out some dental floss and lassos you around the neck.
Oh my god.
You're going to have to roll to take a powerful blow because you did not resist his blows in return.
Ooh, that's a 5.
So this is actually a move that you want to fail. Woo! On a miss, you stand strong. Tell me how you weather the blows and mark potential.
And I grab the floss, take the bit of breakfast that's in his teeth. Thank you very much! And then he lets go of the floss. Very much so like Wile E. Coyote trying to get Roadrunner.
Wonderful. Let's check in with Kitty real quick.
Alright.
You are grabbing people and basically trying to get them out to safety.
Ricochet is grabbing
Ricochet.
people and getting them out to safety, yes.
That's true.
I think what she's doing is legit picking people up maybe 2 at a time in a fireman's carry.
Okay, as this is happening, you just hear this large boom as Tyson or Spectre goes flying across the room, and you see the exhibit immediately behind him start to crumble. As a telekinetic shockwave is causing a large Stegosaurus Thagomizer to start falling down towards other students.
I would like to try and stop that.
Roll defend.
That's a 5, so no.
As you're trying to get to these people, you see Miss Fraser, actually, who is directly underneath this thing. As you try to get to Miss Fraser in time to save her, I'm going to give you an option to take her place on this.
Oh, I'll take that option,
Okay,
yeah.
so roll to take a powerful blow. And also mark potential for your miss.
Okay.
Cool, so you actually do manage to resist the Thagomizer. It hits you on your helmet, but the helmet does what the helmet should do.
Yeah, motorcycle helmet.
That's pretty baller.
You see Miss Fraser looking up at you from on the ground, and she says, "Oh, don't just stand there, get the rest of the students!"
Right, okay. And goes back to evacuating students.
Nell, Diego, what are you two doing?
Nell's thought process is to be the primary target. Because they are invincible, they can handle it, whereas other people cannot. I think Nell is just swatting away these drones as they step up to this guy cosplaying as a doctor and just says very casually, I appreciate your concern that people may not be getting dental cleanings twice a year, but I think you're going about it the wrong way. And just sort of stands there with their axe.
That is you provoking them.
Yeah. Here, which is a 0. That's 5.
You don't even know what you're talking about, little one. I'm not doing this for other people's dental hygiene. I'm doing this because the American Dental Association has removed my ability to call myself Dr. Megabyte. Megabyte just kind of like takes a bunch of drones towards you and continues chasing after Tyson. He calls out back over his shoulder, "Why don't you go play with the rest of your playmates?" So Diego, you've just seen your favorite teacher nearly get wounded by the Thagomizer of a Stegosaurus. Nell and Spectre are currently engaged inside of the dental dam, which is now fully closed up. What would you like to do?
Hey, Teach, you doing all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Go handle the bad guy.
Okay, can you help get all the kids out of here, please?
Of course, I will do that.
All right.
You go handle the bad guy.
Got any advice for me?
Kick his butt. Just kick his butt.
Okay. What's near me that's wooden? Maybe like the frame of a painting?
That makes sense.
I will touch the frame of a painting that is made of wood, and I will turn my body into wood, and then make myself into a ladder going
Okay.
up this force field of drones to try to
Okay.
have my friends climb over. To the
Okay,
other
that
side.
seems like a stretch of your powers, so I'm gonna ask you to roll Unleash.
Oh, okay.
When you touch the frame, there's a little proximity sensor.
Oh, yeah.
thing.
So there is like an alarm that starts going off immediately as this happens.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna give my friends a ladder. Damn it. A 10.
Perfect
Nice.
success. So you managed to stretch yourself into a ladder, which is not something that you have previously done.
Never split the party.
Yeah, but now as you're doing this, Ricochet, you now have a clear path to get to the rest of the team, and also the rest of the students are being evacuated by Miss Fraser at this point.
I call out, Kit, Ricochet.
All right, I guess I'm running up this ladder, but once I get up there, what's the situation?
So Tyson, you've stolen these teeth away, and you're basically—are you running away from Megabyte?
Yeah, he's gonna play capture the flag with him.
Okay.
And he's running around with the teeth in his robe jacket. So he's just running like a fucking kid. Sticking
Okay,
his tongue out.
in that case, Ricochet's running up the ladder and then is gonna be like, Spectre, I'm open!
He's gonna take both teeth and just huck them.
What is your goal with this?
What I want is for him to give up. I want him to give up and leave.
All right. Can you roll provoke somebody then?
Ooh, yes! I'm good at that. I'm less good at that.
No.
But it's still a 7.
A 7. Okay.
Yeah.
As you're doing this, between the two of you, between telekinesis and super speed, he is having a whole lot of trouble, especially without his jaw drones. He just lets out this like large scream of frustration, and he begins taking out toothpaste tubes and just like slamming them down,
Oh my God.
trying to hit every single one of you as he is overreacting. You gain influence over him, so you'll get a +1 forward on any moves that you have targeting him.
Ooh.
This is also going to create a lot more minty fresh destruction. Diego, I assume you're climbing up as well using your ladder self.
Yeah. He can kind of pull himself over the edge or
Like a
tip-
slinky.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, like the Slinky Dog from Toy Story.
Yeah, I like that. And he would be touching the drones at the very top, so he can kind of actually turn into a slinky.
Okay.
and vroom.
Alright, and as he is doing this, his attention is almost entirely on Kitty currently, just trying to hit you repeatedly with these toothpaste tubes, and he is not paying any attention to any of the rest.
You can't catch me.
You're just a dentist.
Now what are you doing?
I mean, my instinct would be to defend Kitty, but it sounds like Kitty's not actually in any danger despite being targeted.
Not currently, but Kitty, I would say that if this continues for much longer, then you will absolutely be in danger, because there's only so much charge that you have left.
That is fair.
Nell wants to try a thing.
Okay?
They know they can deflect the toothpaste.
Ooh.
They want to try and reflect the toothpaste bee.
Okay.
So get in between Megabyte and Kitty and use their axe in such a way that at the angle it goes back at Megabyte.
Okay.
That is a 6.
There is a team left in the pool if anybody can describe how they're helping with this maneuver.
Can I legit just walk up to him and kick his butt like Miss Fraser said to kind of make him hiccup and wait?
Or maybe that makes him scooch a couple feet to the left.
Yeah, I like that.
I put my foot on the marble floor, it turns into marble, and then I just kick his butt.
Nice. Now, this is going to be the blow that takes him out of the fight, so you can describe how that looks.
Ooh.
He first ends up surprised by kicking the butt, and then just gets toothpaste to the face completely unexpectedly. Because he thought it was still going in one direction. He didn't know it was being deflected back to him.
Wonderful. As this happens, you basically like shoot the beam back towards him, and as this happens, Diego's marble leg shoots out and kicks him into it, hits him full on in the face.
Oof.
As he goes down with minty fresh breath and perfectly white teeth. You didn't quite get the angle exactly right, so you are going to have to roll to take a powerful blow as well.
Okay.
Because this is super powered tech toothpaste.
That is 8.
Cool, so as this is wrapping up, the faint smell of mint still lingers in the air, but the jaw drones all just kind of like and then fall down onto the ground. The other students kind of like peek their head back in. Chet immediately just runs in and is like, yo! That was awesome!
Shit.
Kitty runs out with the last of her super speed or Ricochet runs out with the last of her super speed to become Kitty again.
Nell immediately looks around for Ricochet because their thought is, I didn't know Ricochet would be here. Wait.
You hear, as you're running towards somewhere to get changed, the sound of police sirens approaching the area.
Diego, made of marble, is going to go up to Tyson and just be like, "Hey kid, you doing alright?"
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, thank fuck.
You
that
did
felt so
we did a
bad.
squunchy, and then I went, and then you went.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah, but you alright? You didn't get hurt? You good?
He holds up his robe and like doesn't see any new holes.
Good. And he just gives
Look
him
like-
like a mindless tap on the shoulder, and then his body turns into whatever the material in your robe
Well,
is.
Tyson goes, ow! Just kidding.
Damn it.
As this is happening, Kitty's coming back as Kitty at this point to the scene. You begin hearing the sounds of policemen coming into the museum. Diego, this might be a bit of a worry for you because you've not had great encounters with law enforcement in the past.
Damn it. Nell, could you look after the kid? I gotta go. Gotta bounce.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry, thanks so
There's
much.
sort of a ex-dentist on the ground.
I can hear him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna deal with that.
kid, stay near Nell.
He's gonna go and look at the dinosaurs.
Okay.
The non-destroyed dinosaurs.
Nell just sort of accepts this.
So, a set of policemen arrive on the scene and they start just like checking in on everybody, you know, like, is everybody alright? What happened here? They see Hati there on the scene and they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, more Cape stuff. As well as Spectre, who just Spectre, who just seems to be looking around at everything
Look at all
else.
the dinosaurs. There's a big one, there are little ones. He can't say any of the names of them.
So one of the police officers immediately approaches Miss Fraser and starts asking some questions. The other one comes over to Hati and just says, "So what's the deal? Who's this guy?"
Called himself Mr. Megabyte. Was upset because the dental association said he can't call himself doctor anymore.
Gosh, these guys get sillier every single time, don't they?
It did seem a little odd. Why would you attack a dinosaur museum if you're upset at a dental association?
I mean, don't ask me. As this is happening, there is the sound of these very loud clack, clack, clack shoes on the marble floor as another person walks into the scene. She is wearing a pristine suit, black tie, sunglasses, clearly custom-made sunglasses because she has the head of a hammerhead shark.
Oh.
And she is holding out a badge with the word Aegis written on it. Aegis is the superhero enforcement agency of Halcyon City. All right. Nobody move a muscle. Somebody talk to me. If I don't get a situation report in the next 5 minutes, one of you is getting fired, and I'm not gonna be picky about which one it is. Agent Hammerhead is on the scene. All right, who's this guy? Oh, it's this guy. All right, I know Dr. Megabyte. We'll take him in. Hey, you're the new hottie, right? Correct?
Yeah.
All right. Not too bad for the first time around. So I heard
Second time, technically.
Yeah, well, I don't really pay attention to your case files. I'm just working the beat over here in Halcyon. So I heard there were 5 metahumans involved in this fight. Any idea where the other 2 went off to?
There's me. One of them's looking at dinosaurs.
Stegosaurus!
No, yeah, we've got Spectre on record. Trust me, we're keeping tabs on that one.
Then, there you go.
There was 2 others that were reported from the security cameras. We got Mr. Tooth over here, and then there was, Rebound Girl.
Ricochet, yeah, she left.
And then there was some shape-shifting monster kind of thing.
Calls himself Chameleon. Not really a monster, kind of just a person.
Diego, are you still around, or have you straight up left?
He's still in the room, and he's using the marble floor to make himself look like a statue made out of marble. And because he's nude,
Good. Okay.
he looks like a Greek statue.
So here's the thing, Hati. I had a pretty good partnership with your the old one, the Balder guy. So I'm hoping you can help me out, because we gotta make sure that all of these metahumans are accounted for one way or another, especially that chameleon. I've heard a lot of dangerous reports about that one.
Oh, what kind of reports?
He's been showing up around, what was it, Tucker Island, terrifying some other kids.
Like, jumping out of bushes and yelling boo?
I don't know, I don't read the reports that clearly. That's what I've got desk people for. All I know is that kid's some sort of freak and he needs further study, alright?
I mean, saying freak seems rather mean, doesn't it?
They don't pay me to be nice, alright? Being nice doesn't get you very far in this business unless you're, I don't know, Afterburner or Mega Man or some one of those. Which I'm pretty sure is Capcom's been suing Mega Man anyway, so...
But isn't there already a phrase about how if you're looking for someone, it's better to be nice to them?
Oh, well look at you. I see that high school education's paying off for you, ain't it?
I guess this is sort of my first year in public school.
Alright, well, I'm clearly not getting anywhere with you, so here, Agent Hammerhead walks away from you, just kind of like not even listening to that last bit.
They just wipes some of the toothpaste off their face, shakes it off their hand, and then disappears the axe. All their clothes switch back to everything that they were wearing before, except they still have toothpaste on their face.
Kitty.
Yes.
As you are rejoining the group, Miss Fraser looks over and just says, "Oh, thank God! Where were you?"
Oh, I hid. I was so scary.
Very good instincts. It's just that I was worried because I was doing a head count and I couldn't find you.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to worry you. It kind of seemed like, I shouldn't go out of the hiding space once I was so well hidden.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad that you're safe, Kitty.
Thanks, you too.
Fallen, just hang around with the rest of the kids. I think that Aegis is doing some sort of business here.
Okay, is everybody okay?
Yes, everybody was saved thanks to Ricochet.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that there are still heroes who are willing to put the safety of others above, fighting and glorified violence and all that.
Yeah, I mean, my dad doesn't seem to like the supers very much, but I think...
I'm aware, I've seen his ads.
Yeah, I think that a lot of them are doing a lot of good, though.
She's going to try to shift your savior up and your danger down?
I'll take it, yeah.
Meanwhile, Agent Hammerhead approaches Tyson.
Tyson is...
Or Spectre, as he's currently.
Spectre is checking out this new statue that he's never seen before.
Agent Hammerhead approaches.
How did they fit all that in there?
It's a good question. Seeing as this is a natural history museum and all that.
You startled me.
Listen, kid, what are you going by nowadays? Is it Spectre?
You can call me Mr. Wilder.
Oh, you're just giving out your name for free, are you, Tyson?
You can call me nothing. And he crosses his arms over.
Hey, don't look at me. I'm just here.
Okay. And he's looking at the painting.
Listen, I'm just here to try to take care of some damage control after you did the whole telekinetic blast that took out the Stegosaurus. I mean, Bessie was one of my favorite parts of this whole exhibit.
Well, if you were really concerned about Bessie, you would have been here to help Bessie.
Hey, I mean, I'm not... Listen, I don't want to get on your wrong side, kid. You got a real gift. Aegis could use somebody like you.
I'm 12.
I know. And we could teach you how to use your powers, you know? Because there's something special
Yeah?
about you.
How special?
Very special.
I think Tyson likes it when people are interested in him. This would fit with like a really nice kid, troubled, but also kind of like wary. So special is the right thing to call him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's remembering stranger danger and also like don't talk about your shit from Bob. Someone has recognized my specialness, but I think it's kind of grooming him into being a weapon.
All right, well, Tyson, you better keep a lid on that name of yours, especially when you're wearing this outfit.
He's not going to talk to strangers. He's not going to say anything.
I'll be seeing you around, both of yous.
What the
When she turns her back, then I'm just gonna go, shh. Tyson's just gonna see the statue.
Tyson had no idea that was him, and so he's gonna like skitter along.
Nell's going to stop Spectre and ask if he wants to get some ice cream.
Wacky Woad.
Sure.
A little bit of time passes, and we see a crossfade into the students finally being allowed out of the museum. It says every one of them has been questioned enough to Agent Hammerhead's specifications, and a couple of other agents have shown up on the scene in order to do some further investigation. I think Nell is the one that overhears this with their super senses. They overhear the Aegis agents talking about what was stolen, and they seem to be confused because they're talking about the rare minerals exhibits, and why would somebody only steal an onyx pendant of all things? As you all are leaving, all of you see the Aegis agents kind of looking at particularly Nell, who is currently like the most visibly super, but also Agent Hammerhead points over towards Tyson, who is now in his civilian identity, and whispers something.
Does Tyson see this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But as this is happening, Agent Hammerhead stops the group of students and says, "Hold up just a second. I need to talk to this one." And points over towards Nell again, and then pulls them off to the sides. "So, you're the one who's leading this new team, the Varsity Knights or something?"
I don't think we really talked about who's leading it. We just
Alright, well,
started working together.
"You're the one who's here."
That's true. I'm not the only one who's here.
"Yeah, I know.
Alright.
I'm Aegis, I know. Listen, I just wanted to give you a little bit of feedback. It seems like the 4 of yous, you're pretty good in a scrap, but, you're not super thorough."
What do you mean by thorough?
"Well, it's a bit of a easy con to fall for. Seems like Megabyte was just the distraction, because there was a bit of a heist going on in the rare minerals department of the museum.
Okay.
So, next time you're out, just keep an eye out for that. I mean, you gotta whip the rest of them 3 into shape, right?"
I don't think I'm entirely responsible for everyone. Also,
Listen.
my goal was to protect the people who were being held hostage, and I can't do that if I'm looking at other places. And if it wasn't a distraction, then I would just be leaving that area to look at other things for no reason and leaving all the hostages in a bad situation.
Listen, I know that's what you think, but here's the fact of the matter. When there's a secondary objective going on, it always spells more trouble down the line. And you gotta be better than that. Balder was. Balder knew how to see the bigger picture. Anyways, we'll handle the investigation. Just, think on that. that said, we're going to cut back now to the entirety of the class arriving back at Tucker Island Public School. Chet is the first one off the bus, and he immediately runs off towards somebody else and is just like, "Yo, guess what happened? Yo, there was this one supervillain that attacked, and then this one did this awesome move with the axe, and it was just like pow, crash, 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 and then they blew up a Stegosaurus." Just going off and telling every single person every bit of detail. He does embellish a little bit by saying that he was helping out by getting everybody to safety. First clarifying question, is Diego with the students?
I wouldn't say he was at the back of the bus.
So actually, I want to clarify one more point here. Does Diego still go to school? Because it's entirely possible that Miss Fraser was just come along on this trip and we'll hide you because you need to have some fun, essentially.
Yeah, I don't actually picture him going to the school anymore. Okay. I think he used to, and then now he just lives off of the school, if you will. He lives in the sewers. At night, when school's out, he goes up to the cafeteria to feed himself and stuff like that, but he doesn't actually attend classes anymore.
So we see all of the rest of the students filing off as the three of you get off of the bus. Is there anything that you are all collectively doing?
So just to clarify, Nell and Kitty are friends, but Nell does not know that Kitty is also Ricochet, who they also know.
Yes.
Wonderful. Love that.
Yep. My goal with Nell is they are a little clueless. I think Nell overhears Chet, a bit confused, just asks Kitty, does a lot of people have that same sort of attitude?
That you blew up a Stegosaurus?
No, that it's really cool to fight people and blow up Stegosauruses? Saurusi?
Well, I mean, it kind of depends on the people. I mean, my dad is super against it, but I think it's cool. I think that whatever you're doing to protect people is really cool.
Right, he's not really talking about the protecting part, though. He's just talking about the fighting people part.
Well, I mean, a lot of people think that that's fun, too. They want to have powers themselves, probably.
Nell just kind of gets quiet.
In front of you, a mound of dirt suddenly, erupts into a hand, and then another hand as Diego crawls out. He was hiding in the dirt and grass, and he goes, "Hey! What did the hammer-headed lady say to you?"
It turns out someone else was stealing something from the museum, and we didn't notice.
Did she say anything about me?
Nothing nice.
Yeah, I mean, they're after me, okay? They've trying to capture me and then poke and probe me, and I just...
She did say they wanted you for study. She was also looking for Ricochet.
I'm gonna make eye contact with Kitty and then
Kitty's not looking at you.
Yeah, look away.
You cannot make eye contact.
Yeah, Ricochet. That one is that's an
really
interesting
impressive
one.
that she was able to just get there so instantly.
She kind of just pops in and out,
and then just gone right
weird,
after. I was gonna ask how she knew it was going on.
Very
now I want to
cat-like.
ask if she knew that the other thing was going on too. Maybe she went to go deal with that on her own, or.
So as this is happening, the three of you are kind of discussing with a mound of dirt on the floor, essentially. You hear a loud shriek coming from nearby, and as you turn, you see Chet pointing and staring at the mound of dirt, and rushes up to get in between the two of you and Diego, and is like, "Hold on, ladies, I'll protect you from Mudface over here."
How did you call me?
Don't be an asshole, Chet.
Well, Nell looks at Kitty, looks around for the other lady.
Yep.
Continues being confused. Chet, what are you talking about?
This is a monster that was chasing me through the tunnel systems that other night. So Diego, you actually do have a bit of a history with Chet. He was the first one who found you and reported you, and he is a big part of why a lot of people think of you as a monster.
Oh, crap. Look, man, can you just cool it on the Mudface thing?
Yeah, whatever. Why do I have to talk to a pile of dirt, huh? Come on, let's go get out of here, Kitty.
Excuse me?
Let's get out of here. I'm not gonna get dirt talked by dirt man over here.
I'm gonna crawl out of the plane, just kind of like walk away.
Diego used to go here. He's a person.
Oh shoot, that's Diego?
Yep.
Well, you know what? I'm glad he doesn't go here anymore, because he's like... That would be like dangerous for the rest of us.
Would it?
Yeah, didn't you just see him at the museum? He was like destroying stuff, he was like helping out Megabyte and stuff.
I was hiding at the museum, I didn't see anything.
No, he was helping. Diego got Ricochet in, and Ricochet was the one who helped give the final blow to Megabyte. Without Diego's help, then that wouldn't have happened.
Whatever, man, I knew what I saw.
Well, you apparently saw the wrong thing.
Is Tyson there?
Yeah.
Okay. Tyson doesn't like what he's seeing.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of sees Chet being a dick,
Mm-hmm.
trying to put his arm around Kitty, being mean to my dude, having a weird conversation that...
Misgendering and then
And so...
being weird.
Yep.
When he says, like, I know what I saw, I like the idea of Tyson trying to alter his memory.
Okay.
But he's like,
Ooh, love that. Okay.
like, roll tide. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10.
10. Okay, so this works exactly as you envisioned it. And what is that?
He sees it as Tyson sees it. And he saw like the tank that was super awesome, but Diego set up a scrunchie that was like super fucking rad. And he saw the team of superheroes be fucking awesome together. And Diego was absolutely an instrumental part of it. And in fact, Diego was the best part of it because he made the canon for him to go. And so he alters his perception to be very positive about Diego. But
In that moment.
that moment, yeah.
So I think what we see is Diego is like walking away as you feel his words like hit you hard. Diego doesn't actually really get a chance to see this happening, but as Chet is trying to basically chat up Kitty, he just kind of like stops mid-sentence and like stares into space for a couple of seconds. Then he turns around and looks at another friend. Yo, dude, did I tell you about the tank? And he goes off and continues chatting up with other people. And as he walks away, he reveals Tyson standing behind him.
Oh, you see Tyson going with the finger guns. Come with me to Halcyon, the city of hopes and dreams. Superpowered supervillains lay their super schemes. And if you want to take them on, you're gonna need a team to win the fight. But for the Varsity Nights, teenagers by day, superheroes by night. Young and strong and daring and ready to fight. When evil comes around to take a bite. Look for the Varsity Nights. Ordering a pizza slice, going on patrol, planning the big dance and getting powers in control. Villainy beware, because this team is on a roll. You're in their sights. But for the Varsity Nights, teenagers by day, superheroes by night. Young and strong and daring and ready to fight. When evil comes around to take a bite. Look for the Varsity Nights. When the path is long, who hears our plight? When the night is dark, who is the light? When the bad guys attack, who can take them on and set things right? for the Varsity Nights. The teenagers by day, superheroes by night. Young and strong and daring and ready to fight. When evil comes around to take a bite.
Watch out for megabytes.
Look for the Varsity Nights.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Roleplay Radio this week. I'd like to give a huge thank you to all of the talented musicians that helped bring this podcast to life with their amazing music. You can find song names and links to the artists' web pages in the description. I would also like to thank our players who were involved in this project: Rin Garnett, Tyler Rubin, and Nikki Aguilar-Thompson. And a very special thanks to our talented GM, Michael Yang, who not only prepared this wonderful 5-part miniseries for Roleplay Radio, but who also scored and produced the Varsity Nights theme song. If you like what you heard, you can subscribe to his personal YouTube channel, which we've also shared in the description. Thanks again. I'm Alex Aguilar-Thompson, and I sure hope to see you again next week for another episode of Roleplay Radio.